and welcome back to Evenly UIM, the Evenly Skilled Ultimate Ironman. So to give you an idea of where we left off last time, we managed to complete Druidic Ritual and we got our Herblore up to level 3. In doing so, we got our Range up to level 3 and our Mage up to level 3 as well. But otherwise, we're all base 2s from this point forward, and we're moving on to 3's. Now, as far as where to take off in this direction, we're back in Lumbridge, and I have it in my mind that what I'd like to do is sort of repeat what we did for all of the level 1 to 2s in sort of the same process, and maybe optimize some of our pathing a little bit, but overall a lot of our techniques, such as putting rune crafting with mining, were actually fairly good ideas. So I think I'm going to continue with that trend. There is a small issue that's going to come up with Slayer, given that I had to use a lot of range and mage combat XP in order to get the Druidic Ritual complete. So hopefully we'll get some lamps along the way. But otherwise, starting here, I think I'm going to begin again by trying to get my thieving up, and then we're going to take it from there, do some wood cutting, maybe some fire making, as well as some fishing and some cooking, and we'll see what happens. There we go, level 3. In order to cut down the trees, we're going to need another axe, which I sold or dropped during one of the last few episodes. So in the UIM spirit, we're going to have to reobtain that. So we've come here to Bob's Axes and purchased another one of those. And there's level 3 woodcutting. So it only took 3 logs, so woodcutting is definitely faster than both of the processing skills, fire making and fletching, respectively. So again, we're going to go to the top of the Lumbridge Castle, that way we can get 3 fire making and 3 fletching. In order to do that, we'll have to pick up a knife and a tinderbox. I'll run into this general store and buy ourselves another tinderbox back. And as for the knife, we know that one spawns in the bottom floor of Lumbridge, so that really shouldn't be too much of a problem. And there's level 3 fire making. Picking up this one log we have here, this should bring us to 3 fletching. And there it is. Fantastic. Here we are at the fishing tutor. We do not have a fishing net, so we're going to pick up the free fishing net down here, and then we're going to fish some shrimps. So little spawns like this are going to be really important for us as an Ultimate Ironman. So the more of these that we can learn and get used to really is going to save us a lot of time in the future. So after we get level 3 fishing here, we're going to bring these shrimps over to Port Sarum and cook them on the range over there. Along the way, we're going to pick up our rake, just like we did last time, and then after that, we'll have to move on to crafting in order to get that up to level 3 as well. And there's level 3. Back here in Port Sarum for the cooking range, we're going to cook some of these shrimps and get level 2 cooking. Shouldn't take too many of them. And there's level 3 cooking. Alright, fantastic. I did buy a rake and rake some of the patches in the Port Sarum farm, so we're not too far off level 3 there either. There it is, level 3 farming. Here we are killing some giant spiders. Currently we're going to get our attack level to level 3. And then we'll switch to strength, and then defense. There it is, level 3 attack. So we'll switch to the strength style. Oh, there's 11 hit points. So again, hit points are not part of the evenly aspect of the account, because there's no way to really control the hit points. The hit points are just going to become what they are as I train my combat stats. There's level 3 strength. So now we'll switch to defense. Here we are, we're about to get level 3 defense. Once I get level 3 defense, I'm going to switch to control. That way I get even experience in all of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use up as much buffer experience as I can to get this next Slayer level. And by buffer experience, I mean, oh, I've completed one task. I must return to my Slayer Master. Alright, I thought I'd have more spiders to kill, but it looks like we're going to have to go back to Turail and we're going to have to get another task. For now, I'm going to get back on the crafting grind, and we'll come back once we have level 3 crafting. With these last 2 wool, we're going to get level 3 crafting. And there we go. Polished buttons. That'll be useful once we get to hand members. It would seem the next thing for us to take a look at would probably be rune crafting and mining. That's level 3 mining on Pure Essence. Again, we're here getting our Pure Essences so that we can then bring it to the air altar and then get 2 rune crafting. I'm going to try to count a little bit better this time. As you might be able to tell, I have 1 essence in my inventory. For some reason, I can't do math properly because yet again, I'm exactly 1 rune off from the next level. So anyway, here goes level 3 rune crafting. There we go. And what we're going to do now is head up to Birthorpe and pick up our next Slayer task, and then once we're done there, we'll head over to the Gnome Stronghold to get 3 agility. Here we are at Birthorpe. We're going to get our second Slayer task. Let's hope it's something that's reasonable. Cows. That is very reasonable. Alright. Thank you so much, Turail. For now, however, I'm not going to go kill some cows. Instead, what I'm going to do is minigame teleport to the Barbarian Assault. While I'm there, I'm going to pick up some planks, and then after that walk over to the Gnome Stronghold for 3 agility. Here we are in Gnome Stronghold. We're probably going to do maybe 1 or 2 laps of this. It only took 1 to get the last agility level, so it probably won't take that many to get level 2. Once we cross this log, we'll get level 3 agility. And there we go. Next on our list, if we're following the same pattern as before, is to get a new Swand and get level 3 Hunter. This time around, I think what I'll do is I'll walk down to Yennail to get the new Swand, and then I'll continue walking south to the Feldip Hills and catch some Feldip Weasels instead, because I think that'll be a little bit faster than trekking all the way up to Relica. I think I lied in that last clip. I will not be catching Feldip Weasels because those are not level 1. However, in the jungle area, Crimson Swifts are the level 1 hunting option. So I'm going to buy myself a bird snare here, and then we're going to figure out the best way to get down here to the jungle area of Feldip Hills. Now that I think about it, I wonder whether I could just take a boat to Corsair Cove without having done the quest. If that's the case, this might be the fastest way to do that without having to go through all the ogres. We'll have to test that eventually. For now, however, I'm just going to go through the ogres and we'll see what happens. Here we are in the southeastern part of Feldip Hills with some Crimson Swifts. So we're going to go ahead and lay our bird snare and see if we can't get level 3 Hunter here with the Crimson Swifts. So I just noticed after catching that first one that we do get some bones here. This will be very useful because we do need to get level 3 prayer. So we'll see if we'll be able to get level 3. Oh, there's level 3 Hunter. So I guess we will not be able to get level 3 prayer, which is a little unfortunate. So I wanted to see if we could get here easier in the future by maybe taking a boat to Corsair Cove. However, it does not appear that there's a reasonable way to get from the Corsair Cove to the Feldip Hills Hunter area. There seems to be maybe an agility shortcut here, but that requires level 10, which we won't have for a while. And if this were like a main or something like that, I might take, say, this spirit tree over here by the Myths Guild. However, obviously we can't use that either until we complete Tree Gnome Village. So it would seem that for the near future, if we want to continue hunting in the Feldip Hills region, we're going to have to do this same trek over and over again. So that's a little unfortunate, but such is life. Alright, we've home teleported and walked over to Remington so we can clear up some inventory space by using up these planks. So we're going to enter build mode and build ourselves a few crude wooden chairs in order to get level 3 construction. Oh, there it is, level 3. We can now build a clay fireplace. And depending on where we go in the future, it may be more efficient for us to use things like limestone and clay instead of having to always use planks. But for now, planks might still continue to be the better option. So what that means now is we're going to go over to Lumbridge, slay some cows to the best of our ability, then buy some bronze bars so that we can head over to Varric and get level 3 smithing. We're going to try to get level 3 Slayer. Currently my combat stat is on controlled so that I can use up as much buffer XP in the level 3 to 4 range of each of my melee stats, and see if I can't do my best to keep those from going to 4 while I try to get my Slayer to level 3. If it becomes too problematic, I'm going to stop, and then I'm just going to have to wait and lamp up to level 3 Slayer. And I don't know how long that's going to take, so I'm really hoping that isn't what I have to come down to. And there's level 3 Slayer. Fantastic. I have been burying the bones, that way we can try to expedite the process of getting level 3 prayer, but we're only about halfway. I'm going to keep the cow hides in my inventory, tan those up when we go to Al-Kharid, and we'll use those for crafting once we have to move on to the level 4 grind. According to my calculations, I need exactly 7 bronze items. So with my 7 inventory spots here, I'm going to buy 7 bronze bars. I still have the hammer in my inventory, so now all that's left to do is walk up to Varric, where we're going to check in with Charlie the Tramp to see what this cryptic clue turns out to be. Again, we'll probably have to drop it, but I'm curious what it turns out to be. And while we're up there, we'll get our 3 smithing, and that'll bring us up to base 3 skills except for prayer. Here we are at Charlie the Tramp. We're going to see what this step entails. Leather chaps. I am somehow doubtful. Let's find out. Leather chaps, 18. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. So we're going to go ahead and drop that clue scroll, which is slightly unfortunate. Note that while I'm here in Varric, I'm going to go ahead and get my level 3 smithing. I also tanned my hides, and so what I'm going to do after I get my smithing up is I'm going to come purchase a needle and some thread so that I can use these 4 hides toward the next level of crafting once I'm there. Here we are at Varric West. We're going to make our 7 bronze items, which should be enough to take us to level 3 smithing. And there we go, level 3 smithing. While we're here in Varric, I stopped by Thessalia's clothes store, picked up some gloves and a cape, so now we're starting to look a little bit more complete. Of course, we're still a complete and utter noob, but at the end of the day, you know, as long as we have a cape and maybe a glove slot filled, we look less newbie than what we did before. Alright, here we are in Edgeville Dungeon. I'm down here because I'm going to pick up some of the bones on the ground, and we're going to get level 3 prayer here. It's relatively low risk compared to the wilderness. However, we are going to have to enter the wilderness fairly soon in order to get our Herblore up, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. There we go. So with that, our entire stats page is a nice even level 3, which is fantastic. So what that means now is we want to press on to level 4. I think the first thing I'd like to do in order to do level 4 is get our Herblore up to level 4, because that's going to be a little bit of a pain, and you'll see what I mean in the next clip. It does require us to go into the very deep wilderness. I don't think that there's a high risk that we'll get PK'd given our skill level, our combat level. It's only 5. But it is going to be a little risky, so that's why I have some of this cooked meat I picked up in Barbarian Village. Nonetheless, we're going to see what we can do, and we'll be back. So here we are. This is our goal. This is the Deep Wilderness Dungeon. Inside of here is this spawn right there, a grimy guan leaf. So it's really not that hard to get to. I will have to wait about another 10 minutes for these hill giants to no longer be aggressive, but then I'll be able to pick up this grimy guam and clean it, and I'll be able to pick up and clean as many as I need in order to get to level 4 Herblore, which will be very, very nice. So this is going to be our plan for very early Herblore levels, and it should be relatively efficient. Shout out to Baby Tuna. I would not have learned this method of getting early Herblore only experience if it weren't for his Evenly Skilled YouTube series. So again, thank you, Baby Tuna. Otherwise, I'll tune in with you all in a second, maybe in 10 minutes when I can actually get some of these guam leaves. Alright, the aggression timer has expired, so these hill giants will no longer be aggressive toward me. So we're going to come over here and pick up this grimy guam leaf. And we're going to have to hop a lot of worlds in order to get to the next Herblore level, I think. Well, probably not too many. And here we are. This will be the last grimy guam. There it is, level 4 Herblore. So with level 4 Herblore, that'll put us into the next skill tier. So now our objective is to get base level 4s. What I'm going to do now is get out of the wilderness, head back into the mainland of Gielinor, and then we'll see what we can do about getting onto another skill. So we're here in the Mage Bank, and it just dawned on me that what I really should have done and what I'll do in the future is when I do this Herblore training method, I will come with an empty inventory, and then I'll stock up on all the guam leaves I clean for that level, and these I can actually note on a leprechaun, and I can keep those, and in the future I might be able to get other Herblore levels by simply purchasing Eyes of Newt in Port Sarim and then making attack potions instead of having to come all the way out to the wilderness. So in some sense I'll be able to somehow pay it forward. So I think that'll be a really nice way to proceed next time I come out here. Here we are back in Lumbridge. Again, we're working on now base 4s. The early levels are probably going to more or less follow the same exact path. So I think from this point forward, instead of going ahead and showing you every single little thing I do, I think I'll just show you sort of the main bits that occur, and we can infer sort of what happens in between. For example, right now I'm about to go get my thieving level up to level 4, and then after that I'm going to go work on my wood cutting, fletching, and fire making just like before. I might not show you those levels, the entirety of them. I might just show a quick snippet, but that is probably what I'm going to do. Alright everyone, I think that's going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, this account has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed working on it. I'm learning so much about parts of RuneScape I hadn't thought of before, and it's been a real blast. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.